All right, welcome to Do or Done See, the only podcast where you can hear all latest in television and entertainment news with too many hosts with exactly the same opinions. I'm one of those hosts, David Allen, and another one is
John Berwick, and a third one is
Kyle Bridger. I would say that I am the Moon Knight to John's Mark Spector to Dave's Stephen Grant.
Okay.
They're just three.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I see it. Dual redundancy.
Yeah.
Three superhero characters with exactly the same body, I guess. Yeah, we will talk about all three, all wrapped into one. Oscar Isaac in Moon Knight.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have another show from Hulu, a kind of true crime show. They've been doing so many this past season. There's so many like true crime come to life series. This one is The Girl from Plainville. And we may even have a new segment tonight. A lot to do. But John, I don't remember the first segment.
In and Out Points.
Yes, it is In and Out Points. All right, our first one tonight. We're going to talk about Moon Knight a little bit later tonight, but we're going to go back to an old Marvel Disney Plus series, and that is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Came on last March on Disney Plus. When we watched it, may look a little different now when we watch it in 2022 because supposedly there's some scenes that have been edited down with violence. There's two scenes in the third episode. They're different from the original air, and one of them is there's a shot of the Hydra scientist who had splattered blood all over him. His eyes were open, but now, no blood, eyes closed. There's also a scene where Bucky Barnes, I believe that is, let's see, is he? I think he's the Winter Soldier. He's Tommy, Pam and Tommy. He's hurling a pipe at someone. Used to go through the shoulder. Now it just bounces off.
Okay.
You know, the classic whoop. I hope somebody added like a sound effect to it as well, like boing. Yeah. So what do you think about this, Kyle? We got some violence changes to Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I'm not really surprised, honestly. Weren't we kind of trying to figure out the age for that show anyways, like who it was for and whatnot? So maybe it actually works with, you know, the demographic they're going for. That's the only thing I can think is maybe they saw the demo that was playing it and was like, maybe this is a little too beefed up for them. That's the only thing I can think of, because why else would, I don't know. I mean, I know TV directors don't get much say, but like, why would you let them change something, or why would a TV creator let them do something like that? I don't understand.
Especially since it aired this other way. Like, that's why I don't understand with this, because like, why are we doing this when the majority of people that saw this show already saw the show? I mean, sure, people are going to be trickling in at various points. People are going to rewatch it. But like that first week, the first month when this show dropped a year ago, that was the most amount of eyeballs on this. And that's when it was the most violent. So now you're changing. If anything, it should be the opposite.
Yeah.
It should be, most people saw it now, so maybe we could sneak in some other things at this point and not really raise any red flags, because not many people are going to be seeing it.
Now, did they advertise this, or does somebody just notice?
No, I think somebody just noticed, one of those eagle-eyed super fans.
Okay.
I've seen it a couple of times. You know, I think it was Nick Boyle, actually. I saw in the article. I think he mentioned it. But John, thoughts on this?
Yeah, I don't get why. Unless they're really trying to push their Disney Plus being for families, I don't see why. I mean, what's the point? What's the point? The show's already done. Are they worried that kids are getting too scared of it? Like, why are kids watching superhero movies? You know, like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's worth investing the time and money to re-edit these, you know?
Yeah. And because we talked about it not too long ago, where these Netflix Marvel shows, which are way more violent and way more adult than what is on Disney Plus, like the Punisher and Daredevil and all those things. Those are TVMA. They're not being toned down because of those shows, Disney Plus added mature content controls to the service. So it's like, and that when I went to see Moon Knight, I had this, okay, which do you want this on? Do you want this off? Do you want the full catalog? Do you want this? So it's like with this, they should be allowing more, because why are we going back unless this is somehow like a mistake? Was because Disney's saying it's an alternate version of the show that was uploaded. Are they not only doing parental control, saying you can watch this, you can't watch this, but then now are they also editing shows for this other side of things, where it's like, oh, you turn on this parental control, you get a whole different version of Falcon and Winter Soldier than the people who are watching it without this parental control on.
That actually sounds pretty cool. If like, you have it set to like 14 and under or whatever, and like you get a different cut where it's less violent, that's kind of cool. Yeah. I more think of like, why are you forcing me, an adult, to watch a dumbed down version? That's what I worry about in the end.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I think it's just something Disney Plus kind of has to figure out who it is for, because they've been adding so much stuff. Obviously, when it dropped, they had The Simpsons, and now they're like adding like Hamilton's on it, and the Beatles documentary. It's like, what are we doing? And then, as we've mentioned in outside of the United States, they don't have Hulu, so shows like Pam and Tommy are on Disney Plus. So at some point, are the Hulu stuff just going to be merged into Disney Plus? I could easily see it happening to make one giant super conglomerate, one-stop shop.
Yeah, and why don't they, like, this is behind the black curtain, kind of like in the old school, like rent a movie kind of feel, like, oh, you got to come back here for the mature content.
Bring a quarter.
And so...
you know a lot about that, it sounds like, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, you got me. You caught me live on air right here. Yeah. No, but they got to do something, because, I mean, having Pam and Tommy right next to Moana, is probably not the best thing. So, but yeah.
If you liked Moana, you're going to love.
You're going to love.
Maybe they'll just edit Pam and Tommy to be like...
It'll be a 7-minute series. Like, that's it. That's all we could show.
Oh, man. But what's interesting is the Disney controls came out recently, right? Because I think I looked at our profile, and it had like defaulted to TV 14, and I was like, wait, we're not kids around here. I can watch mature content.
Adult. Give it to me. Show me the blood. All right. Well, we're moving from Disney Plus to my favorite thing to talk about. NFTs.
Oh my God.
We've all heard the infamous Bill Murray stories, all the different ones of the mysterious man that is Bill Murray. And now we can sadly enjoy them as NFTs, because Bill Murray is partnering with a viral photo site and streaming company, The Chive. And he's going to enter the NFT space with a line of blockchain collectibles that will tell verified Bill Murray tales. John, I know you're a Bill Murray fan. Ghostbusters here. Are you going to be getting one of these NFTs?
No. I don't know who is. I mean, I do know who is, but like, why? What's the point of this? It's just a cash grab. Probably not even for Bill. It's probably a cash grab for the Chive. Like, why? Oh, I don't know. I just don't get it. Like, somebody must have been friends with Bill and been like, hey, dude, this is the future. We got to do it. It's like, we gotta let people spread your tails or whatever, and Bill's like, yeah, okay, but I don't know. It just, it's kind of sad.
I saw something like in the article where it's like, for years he doesn't like his life story. He doesn't want to do an autobiography or like a documentary. So maybe this is his version of just doing that. Maybe it's like it's the least amount of work for him, because he doesn't have to do anything. Just let the Chive do it all, but. A little bit more information. Each token in the official 1,000 tokens that they're going to release will have a unique graphic of Bill Murray and accompanying text of a brief anecdote about that he is either personally revealed to the company or has verified from previous published material. They're going to range from different topics, like the roles that Bill Murray has turned down, to philosophical Murrayisms, and some uncommon pastimes and quirks he has. Does that sweeten it for you, Kyle? Or now are you interested?
I still don't think I understand. So I don't think I'm even on board because I just don't really understand how this works. But I mean, you know, you get those random moments where he's at like somebody's wedding or something. And I guess if somebody wants to pay for that moment, go for it. But I'm not going to be one of those people to do it. And this just seems so, I don't know who convinced him to do this. I don't.
Here's what I'm worried about, Kyle. You just recently watched Seinfeld. Is this going to be like the plot where Kramer sells all of his stories and anecdotes about his life to Jay Peterman, and then because he sold it to him, he can no longer tell those stories. So now Bill Murray can't tell any of these stories because they belong to whoever owns the NFT. Bill, I would be worried. You don't own your life anymore. But here's an example. The Hollywood Reporter shared a sample story and a photo, but they had to make a big disclaimer in the article that this photo is not the actual NFT. So don't go screenshotting this because it's not worth anything, this photo, okay? But here's the story that goes with this photo. I guess he has an 8-year-old BlackBerry Classic. He's nicknamed the relic Bill Urey. Why? Because the M key doesn't work. So if you received a text from Bill in the last 5 years, the M's are omitted. Considering Bill prefers texting to talking, that's a lot of missing M's.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I've heard some great Bill Murray stories over these years of all.
Number one.
Yeah, and this one is not in the top 1,000, so I don't know what we're doing. Like, how many of these out of the 1,000 are going to be good? 10? This is certainly not one of them.
Yeah.
This is not. Why is this the example in the article to entice me to get one of them? Because that's not it. I'm sorry, Bill. Sorry, Bill Urey.
Bill Urey.
I've got a free Bill Murray NFT if we have 2 seconds.
Okay.
He was filming something. I don't know which show. And they were doing filming around Stony Point, New York. And they were looking to do exterior shots for them pulling into a house. And they wanted to use my grandmother's house. But my grandmother refused to cut down her bushes in the front yard, so they went somewhere else.
Oh,
and that's my alleged 30-second Bill Murray NFT for free for all the listeners.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yeah, it's free. We need a photo that goes with it, right?
Yeah.
Or is that just the story?
I'll Google Maps the house that they no longer live in.
Go.
I thought you were just going to use this photo of us telling the story with Bill Murray NFT in the background.
There you go. Or put a little picture inside that BlackBerry of your grandparents' house.
There you go. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you thought that was bad, unfortunately, it looks like an unlikely figure is going to one-up Bill Urey with his new NFT project. Very unlikely figure. The Nelson Mandela Family's Long Walk to Freedom brand is launching a metaverse project called A Long Walk to Meta Mandela-verse.
I think it's Mandela-verse.
I got too many things here in my front.
It is a long handful of a sentence, though.
Because here's the thing, John. Mandela and verse, metaverse, don't go together. So that's why I'm confused with how to say it. Because these two things are on polar opposites. They don't belong anywhere near each other.
Opposites attract, dude.
I guess so. Kyle.
Dude.
Hot take.
The world is crazy. I don't even know what sentences are anymore with these companies. It's like the Mandela-verse and the metaverse. It's like, what is all this stuff? I just feel like an old man. I'm only 30 years old, but I feel like I'm 90 when I read this stuff because it's crazy. I just don't understand who is Nelson Mandela's family trying to reach in the metaverse. I don't understand.
I don't know.
The kids.
But are the kids even on the metaverse?
No.
So who are they reaching? I don't understand.
I don't know.
No one.
Like,
right.
I'm all
Mark
for
Zuckerberg.
Let me say, I'm all for whatever message Nelson Mandela is putting out there. I'm just saying, I don't understand this. I don't get
I
it.
don't understand it.
Yeah.
Does this anything have to do with Spider-Man? Is there multiple Nelson Mandelas out there that are gonna? I don't know, but no. So this is what I got from the article. The project's gonna feature NFT art collections and a holographic gala that will take place this summer in Los Angeles. The first collection is going to include 100 silver and gold token coins, granting access to this Metaverse Mandela Gala event. And one coin holder is going to be eligible for a trip to Johannesburg, South Africa. So it's like I guess it's like a lottery. You get this gold coin, and if you got the right
It's
gold
Willy
coin,
Wonka.
Yeah.
I guess so.
And you get to go to Johannesburg?
One person, one lucky coin holder goes there, and there's like a private safari. Sounds like a nice trip, but I'm confused with this holographic gala that's going to take place.
Is Nelson...
Maybe one of them from the metaverse is going to be there. But I got a quote from the family, and this just, again, confuses the heck out of me. All these words, I don't understand them. Quote, "My father was a great champion of education and believed it was the most powerful weapon we could use to change the world. Web 3.0 holds the promise of decentralized, community-driven paradigm shift that will allow a new generation to democratize and restore the power of creators." That Web 3.0, I'm an idiot. I don't understand half this stuff. It's like that Silicon Valley, I think, like from the show Silicon Valley, decentralized internet they kept talking about, and I guess it's really happening. I don't know, but somehow NFTs and the metaverse are involved with it.
Isn't metaverse the Facebook thing, right?
Yeah.
So
is it like
Yes.
I know they're meta. Are they metaverse? But also, isn't metaverse what they do in Spider-Man?
I think
Isn't
that's,
that the
I
whole
think,
metaverse?
I think that doesn't have any bear. I think that's a separate use of metaverse. I don't think that has anything to do with this at all.
I think it's exactly the No, they're in the multiverse. It's the multiverse of madness.
Yes. So, but metaverse is the Facebook thing.
It's Facebook and their VR platform.
Yes, I knew all that, and I've seen
Okay,
it.
so that makes a little more sense that we're going to get a holographic in this VR platform.
But
Okay.
again, like what? I don't understand. Like they're teaming up. And all these things like educational platforms, Web 3.0s. But then you've paired up with the demon, the devil. You know? What are you talking about?
I don't know.
And I say
know.
that because Facebook has kicked us off of Facebook for however long
they
that was.
caused a lot of problems because of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad. they really had a thing with that, but oh my God. Well, we're making jokes. The proceeds are going to benefit the Mandela education program. So whatever they're doing, it's going to a good cause. Even though I don't understand it, it's going to the right place. So,
and that's what matters.
All right. Well, one last one to talk about. There's going to be Netflix. We're going to talk about this test program that they're launching, where the primary account holders are going to pay an additional fee for users outside of their household in attempts to address password sharing. This story came out about a week or two ago. It got pushed because of Oscars and all that stuff, but we had to talk about it because it's a pretty big deal. That pretty much no more free rides. You're paying for your people that are sharing your Netflix password. You got to pay up now. You got to pay up. Kyle, what are your thoughts on this new system that they're testing out?
Well, I thought when they were testing it is just in Europe or something for now, correct? I think.
Chile, Costa Rica, and Peru are the three places they're testing right now.
So nowhere in Europe, nowhere close to Europe. But anyways, not happening here yet. But dude, this stinks. Like Netflix, this isn't the way to win people over. This isn't gonna... I don't think this is going to get the subscribers that you think it will. You know? I don't think...
On top of this, what is functionally the difference between Dave being on my parents' account and me being on my parents' account? How do they know that I'm not my parents' son or Dave's not my parents' son?
Yeah.
Like, I don't live with my parents. We bought a family plan.
Yeah, I guess they're saying you're not in the family.
Are very... It's a tough thing to define here because, is it, the same Wi-Fi network within the household? Is it the same town? Is it the same... There's so many things to it. Because as you mentioned, yeah, it's a family plan. You have a phone family plan. You're not all in the same household. So it's very tricky.
Unless
but pretty much,
unless Netflix is saying you got to get off the family plan now early. You got to. We're telling you when it's time to get off the family plan.
They're kicking you out. Millennials are freeloading. Get off. All right. But yeah. So the head household member is going to be prompted to verify the account only if a device outside of the household logs on. So I guess your parents are going to get an alert, John, and they're going to be like, hey, this account right here, they're trying to log in. You got to verify it. And I don't know what this means, because will this be like a verification code where your parents are going to now have to send you a verification code to enter into yours to confirm that you're allowed to do it? Well, are they just making it so annoying, like our little HBO Max issue, Kyle, that every week it logs us out and we have to re-log in because, we're not in the same household, but we're down the street from each other. It's like...
I don't get how that's functionally different than having a username and password. It's just two-factor for username and password. Like, it doesn't... All it would do is keep somebody who you don't want in, or out. Like, you could do that now by just changing your password. I just don't get it. How does that help you at all?
I think it doesn't help you. I think it helps them. Just make some money. Yeah. They have this statement that they released. They said, quote, "We've always made it easy for people who live together to share their Netflix account with features like separate profiles and multiple streams in our standard and premium plans. While these have been hugely popular, they've also created some confusion about when and how Netflix can be shared. As a result, accounts are being shared between households, impacting our ability to invest in great new TV and films for our members."
Okay.
So there's some confusion of how Netflix should be shared. Counterpoint, the confusion is coming from inside the house, because back in March of 2017, it was Netflix that tweeted, "Love is sharing a password."
Yeah.
They wanted you to share the passwords then. They wanted anyone and everyone to watch their programs. Now, because their growth is slowing, because whoever has Netflix. Now they're like, we need anyone. We got to split up these households now.
Yeah, I think the writing is on the wall with Netflix. I think they need to transition and change something, because I don't think they're in the greatest position that they could be right now. That's for sure. And is this an image that they're sharing?
No, I don't know if this was from them. I was
going to say, it would be ironic that it has friends on there, and when they don't even have it anymore. I was just going to be like, that would be...
I just found this as a little joke of, like all the people that you barely know that are on your Netflix page. Yeah. But at least the price right now, if we're going to go off of like what it is in Costa Rica, in US dollars, it's about $3 to add on these people, and you can add up to 2 people you don't live with. So, but can
you add those 2 people and they still need a verification code?
I don't think so at that point. If I think they're just going to send an alert to somebody. It's like, oh wait, this person's not in your household or an added person, so you got to verify it. And then I don't know what happens with this verification, because again, it's a test program. Are you going to automatically have to pay? Like, to verify you have to pay. Like, I don't know what it is, but it sounds like they're going to try anything to just squeeze out a few more dollars from these people that are on someone's account.
Earn goodwill among your consumers? No. Because honestly, the content right now is not enough to keep me around. So like what, I
can tell you right now, the last time Netflix went up, my mom wanted to cancel. And I was like, I still use it.
It keeps going up.
And she was like, all right, if people are using it, that's fine. But if it's going up again, that's an uphill battle, man. Like I could see people canceling over this. Maybe it's going to have the opposite effect that they want, where people are dropping because, you and your buddies can't pitch in $2 and get the Netflix for the month, Who knows?
Yeah. Wall Street analysis say that if rolled out globally, it could add $1.6 billion to Netflix's top line, because supposedly 10% of the 116 million broadband households that includes some. Well, let me rephrase that. About all these households, 116 million broadband households, they all include at least someone who watches Netflix but does not pay for the subscription. 10% of those. So they did the math. if it rolled out globally with this whole system, $1.6 billion Netflix could make off of this.
And that's assuming 10% of those 10%?
I think it's 10% of the 116 million users.
But that's assuming that all those users would then switch over.
Get a new account
Exactly.
or something.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like the high number, I think, is 1.6 billion. And
yeah, that's pretty
if
lofty
people drop
goals.
out.
I mean, that's wild.
And what
we're
is
gonna
that-
get
that's like
everybody
what-
that ever uses it. That's such a
And how much do they spend billions of dollars a year on content, and how much are they in debt? It's not $2 billion. It's not going to cover them. It's not going to cover them.
yeah.
They have so many shows, a lot of shows that may or may not be worth it, which actually leads perfectly into a new segment we're going to do. So let me just set this up here. I opened up Netflix over the weekend, and I was surprised to see what was trending in the top 10. So I said, we should do a segment to look at the Netflix queue, like their system, to figure out what the queue is going on over at Netflix. That's going to be like this, maybe a weekly or bi-weekly segment here. We got a sound clip. We got a new segment header. John, hit us.
What the is going on?
Yes, we're going to try to figure it out. What is going on at Netflix in their Netflix queue? We're gonna do it live here. I took some screenshots of my top 10 as it stands right now. We're going to look at it and figure out what is going on. Okay, here I'm going to read off the top 10 here. 10, Good Girls. 9, I can't make it out. Some animated show, whatever.
Coco
8,
Melon?
Oh,
sure.
okay.
8 is Inventing Anna.
Okay.
7 is a home organization show.
Okay.
Let's see. We got
Heartland.
5 is Heartland is 6. 5, Is It Cake?
Okay.
4, The Bubble. 3, Shrek, one of the sequels. 2, The Blind Side.
Uh-huh.
And 1, Bridgerton.
Okay.
Let's just look, anything that jumps out to you in this top 10, Kyle.
The Bubble. I haven't
The
even
Bubble.
heard of that yet.
That is a Judd Apatow film.
Okay.
That I believe got some of the worst reviews.
Oh,
and they're like
no.
making a movie within a COVID bubble. Like they're making an action movie, and it's like this Hollywood satire, Tropic Thunder style. 24% on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
yikes.
So it's gonna be the next best picture nomination for Netflix.
So, and believe it or not, I have seen a thing or two on Twitter, I think, about Is It Cake? I couldn't tell you what it is, but I saw a couple of tweets about it, I think.
That is the one that like actually made me start this idea for this segment, because I'm like, how is this a show? I sat through Floor is Lava. Okay, I kind of can get that, but Is It Cake?
So
I watched the trailer for this, and this is just the amount of excitement that the celebrities have over, oh my God, I think it's the cake. Who cares? Who cares if it's cake?
there was this trend a while ago on I don't know if it was TikTok or Twitter where they would show a regular object and then cut into it. No, it was a piece of cake, and it was like, haha, it was a joke, and then it really blew up, and then it died, and now it's a TV show on Netflix.
Oh
Netflix
my
gave millions of
God.
dollars to it. It's literally like they have something where it's like, floor is lava. Yeah, that's a thing kids play. Let's make it a TV show. Same with, is it cake? Okay. What Wordle is popular. Wordle the TV show. Like, it's just, they will pitch anything to Netflix, and if it's a meme or if it's just a viral joke, millions of dollars in your lap. It's just
I
wild.
know.
It's just wild.
It is wild.
And I joke about this top 10 here. And I thought, okay, this will be a great segment. This is the top 10 for everyone. We can all look at it together here. But John, this isn't your top 10.
No, my top 10 is different.
Uh-oh.
How is that possible?
So this is my live top 10. Like, I'm on the page, and it's different.
Uh-oh. Well, that's because it's always changing, John. You never...
But I looked at mine. Mine's up on my tab right here. My tab is the screenshot.
Oh, boy. They're a
And
bunch of
mine is
liars.
not.
So yours is Bridgerton. Is It Cake is second.
2, yeah.
Heartland is 3. that home renovation show. Is that what it is? Is 4?
Yep.
Inventing Anna's Fifth.
Organized.
Coco
home
Melon. Okay. But they're all this.
Not
It's
all
the same
of them.
shows. Oh, there's a couple different
Not
here.
all
There's
of
no
them.
Blind
Yeah.
Side for you.
Yep.
That's my number 2 show or movie.
Super Pup sneaked into 10.
Wow.
That's new.
Super Pups with a Z. You know it's good.
Yeah, you know it's good when they throw a Z in
I
there.
think Pieces of Her wasn't there. There's a
No.
couple.
This
that
is
are
weird.
different.
I think going forward, where we have to just pick one of us and go with it. But how is this? Like, I don't understand. First of
How
all,
can there be?
I don't understand how there's 2 different top 10s for shows in the U.S. But also, you look on this thing here, and there's always like there's the trending now one, and there's also popular on Netflix, and there's top 10. Aren't these all like the same thing? Like, how is something trending now, but is also popular, but is also top 10? Like, those are 3 of the same things,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
I don't get how one
Yeah.
can be trending, but then
Yeah.
one isn't popular. But
Yeah, I mean, dude, I don't know. They're just creating buzzwords to try and get people to click on it, and then they'll show you all the stuff that you already liked, so that you get more of it. You know what I mean? Is John's live on top 10 TV shows? Is that why we're not getting any movies? Is that why it's different?
John, that could be it. Kyle could have solved it. Let's if you can figure that out.
I have no
Right
idea
now.
what you just said.
I
You have
said
the
you're
top
on the
10
top 10 TV
there.
shows, so that's why the Blind
No.
Side's not showing up.
I'm on. Oh,
Oh,
TV shows.
yeah.
Interesting. Is there a top?
Oh, we might have just figured out
Is it all
something
the
here.
way to
We
the
were
top?
yelling at Netflix. We're gonna have to cut out this entire thing. How is it you're not top 10
movies?
That's
But-
top 10 movies.
All right. There's Shrek.
All right,
there's
Blind
Blind
Side,
Side.
Blind Side,
Bubble
okay.
Bubble.
That's a different order already. Adam Project is 6. That wasn't on yours.
Well, that's
Blade
because
wasn't on
Hang on.
yours.
You're still in movies. We got to find the other one. How is there
Top
this
10
many
overall.
top 10s?
Top 10 movies. Oh,
Where's
top
your
10
top
TV
10
shows.
overall?
Gotcha. I might have skipped that. Interesting. Maybe
Oh.
I missed it.
is it popular?
How is that not even there?
I
Trending?
though?
don't have it.
You don't even have
Trending.
it.
No.
He doesn't even have it. So
Hidden Gems, Netflix.
Netflix, what are you trying to do to us?
what is going on? I will say there's this show I keep seeing, John, while we figure this out.
Yeah.
There's a show, not in the top 10, but it is trending, called Trivia Quest.
Yeah.
And I played a little bit of this. It's actually an interactive multiple choice game
Uh-huh.
based off of the app. I think it was like Trivia Crack. I think that was what it used to
Yeah.
be called.
I think so too.
And I played a little bit of this, and yikes. I will say there was no issues playing it. The remote worked fine. You know, it was all there. There was
Uh-huh.
no glitches with that. But one round, and it happened to be movie trivia, and I don't understand who is this for. Because the VO and the animation makes it look like it's for preschoolers.
Uh-huh.
But the questions are about adult movies. Like, there was a question, and it was, I can't remember the exact wording, but it discussed the movie Cats and how there was a rumored cut involving, you know, for a lack of better term, the butthole cut. What? Who's this for?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Well, wasn't the app kind of like that in a way? It was almost.
Yeah, but like, why is the animation and the voiceover like acting like it's Blue's Clues? And it's like,
I don't know.
all right,
I don't-
great job. It's just like,
Because the kids want to know about the butthole cut too.
Yeah.
All right, Dave.
and man, the questions were so easy. I don't know, maybe I'm just a movie expert, but there would be like which, you know, name an actor or director or whatever, like which John Hughes film, and like you look at the 4 choices, and it would be like, well, there's only one John Hughes film here. You have like Jaws, you know, Avatar, whatever, The Bubble,
Yeah.
and Ferris Bueller. So it's like, well, it's Ferris Bueller. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's just like, what are we doing? I don't know. But yeah, well, we got something, John? You
Yeah,
have
I
an
found
update?
my
Oh, you found your top 10?
My top 10. It was I had to go into a different category to find it.
Oh, it looks like I think it's the same.
Top 10 in the U.S. It is the
I
same.
think it's the same.
Yeah, interesting that they would show me a different selection though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they thought
They're
that.
trying to pull a
It is
fast
one.
one.
Yeah.
They were trying, and we called them out, and now we look like we have egg on our face.
No, I think that they're making categories just to show what they want.
That's
You know what I
kinda
mean?
good.
They're narrowing down like the field of view to be like, oh yeah, these are the top 10 TV shows. Like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah. There could be something there. Either way, I think we'll fine tune this segment. I think it's something to look forward to, just to figure out what is going on Netflix and what is the top shows.
Okay.
Yeah, what's on the queue. All right, let's move over to another streaming service, Disney Plus. In order to do it, we have to go back. So guys, send us back.
We're back, baby.
Gotta get back in time.
Moon Knight series premiere, The Goldfish Problem, dropped March 30th. Oscar Isaac plays Mark Spector, a mercenary with multiple personality disorder, and he's drawn into a deadly mystery involving Egyptian gods thanks to his identity of Stephen Grant, aka Moon Knight. All right, we all saw the premiere of this Marvel Disney Plus series. Let's start off with John. What did you think of Moon Knight?
I'm glad you asked me to go first. Sorry, comic book fans. I think we have to give our generic disclaimer that we are not comic book guys.
Don't come for us.
Don't come for us. This to me felt like 100% fan service for people who know this comic and who Moon Knight is, because I have never heard of them and I had no clue what was going on the entire episode. Even at the end, I was like, all right, so he's got, spoilers if you haven't read the comic, I guess, he's got this like superhero inside of him, but that didn't answer any questions for me. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying it's bad.
You have to watch the next episode, I guess.
I guess so. I'm not saying it's bad. It doesn't seem like, unless you do your homework, and again, it's the same with like half of these superhero movies. Unless you do your homework, I don't know if you're going to get everything you're intended to out of it. Yeah, that was my big takeaway. Otherwise, I mean, it's a Disney Plus superhero movie. You know what you're in for. It's going to look great. It's going to have, the technical marvels you expect to see in a superhero movie, but just story-wise, I felt like I was being pulled along instead of being willingly along for the ride. Interesting,
because I have like a little bit of a different take with the confusion that like I almost kind of liked the confusion, if that makes sense. Because like I was put into Mark's shoes, not the glass shoes that Ethan Hawke's character was walking around in, but his shoes, where it's like what's going on? He's getting you're getting little clues and hints, and like, yo, why is he chained to his bed, and why is there tape on the door? And he woke up with the jaw out of place. So it's like, because obviously he has these multiple personalities, and we see these kind of like episodes as these like flash frames, and it's like then we come in after the action, which is also an interesting choice because for the most part, outside of this one action scene we'll get to a little bit later, it's like, well, we skipped over the action. Isn't this what like Marvel is the action? So I thought that was like a choice. We're at some point I feel like we're gonna have to see some action because that's what unless they really are editing it down, going back to that in and out point. It's like no fighting at all. But I'll get to all that later. I want to hear what Kyle thought first.
I thought it was okay. I thought it was good. I was interested in it. Like I said, I don't know anything about this character or anything from the comic books. I honestly found Oscar Isaac's English accent to be kind of annoying. But besides that, it was fine. And I was along with the confusion, except I think they went to the well one or two times. Too many, and it was like got to be annoying. It's like, all right, let's like get to the point here. I know what you're trying to do here, okay? So I got annoyed by that, but overall, I thought it was an interesting idea. It's a cool concept, but I felt this whole time it's like, are we just going to be seeing this back and forth the whole series? This is going to be annoying. I hope they team up at some point.
We got to switch it up a little bit later if we're going to skip through all that stuff. You bring up Oscar Isaac, and that's kind of what drew me to this one, because a lot of times it's like, I'm out. I don't need any more of these Marvel series. But it's like, oh, Oscar Isaac involved. Oh, Ethan Hawke's involved. Okay, it's perked my interest. Like Ethan Hawke, and I'm curious to why he chose this, especially because he's made comments in the past of how he does not like Marvel. So it's like, well, he must be really involved and interested in this project.
Really well paid.
Or they well paid. So it could be either one, but I'm hoping it's the first thing, and he's really involved with this character and wanted to work alongside Oscar Isaac. That accent is a choice. it's a choice. I got a little bit used to it later on, but yeah, it was distracting. I will admit. Yeah, I'm interested in Ethan Hawke's kind of preacher character, especially he has like the magical scales of justice tattoo. You know, are you good? Are you bad? You know,
Yeah.
whatever it is. And so I think that's an interesting character. I want to see more of him. And I thought there were some cool visual sequences. There was like the montage of like how to stay awake with the tape playing and the Rubik's Cube, and they had the mirror in the bathroom going into like infinity reflections, just going doon 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 doon. So and that obviously plays with his personalities. But John, you have this truck sequence, this chase action sequence. I will say, I thought this sequence was some of the worst CGI I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, Marvel, expensive production. This was shot in like Hungary and Jordan and all these different locations. But man, the cars, and when the people flew out of the cars, it just seemed like I know it's probably really hard to do this sequence, but man, it just did not look remotely real for me in this at all. But
the way the cars stopped looked fake, right? I think if I'm thinking of the scene where they finished and they like fishtail at the end, is that this? Yeah, and it was just so. Yeah, it's like cars don't move like that, but. And then when they had the door open and you see like the mountain whizzing by, it's like it honestly looked like it reminded me of a 3D ride or one of those like 4D rides that you see at Universal. It's like you expect that there, you don't expect it through the television screen, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, and I think this might be a little bit what you were saying earlier with the guy or the confusion and hitting yourself, over the head a little bit too much with it. But I wasn't sure if I was loving like the voiceover that Mark hears. It felt a bit too like on the nose. So much of it, especially, was like the same, where it's like, oh great, the idiot is back.
Yeah.
The idiot's back. It's like, okay, like we get it, but also like who's he talking to?
Explain
like,
it a little bit more. Like all he has to do is
like,
say what idiot, and then give us 2 lines. Like you're not the owner of this body, or whatever it has to be. Like just give us something to explain what the hell's going on. 'Cause otherwise, we're just idiots too.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm wondering, because like who's this voiceover for? Because he's either talking to the idiot in the without talking to him, or it's like it's for us. Oh great, the idiot's back. But like, why are you even saying it? Like it's just I needed more from that instead of just repeating it over and over. Just be like, he's an idiot. He's here. He doesn't know what's going on. But I don't know. We'll see if we get more from that. It sounds like I guess again the Marvel's gonna come at me, but like so his identity that wants to take over the body is Stephen Grant, who is also Moon Knight, or is Moon Knight another identity? Or it's just is that just the secret identity of Stephen Grant?
That's why I was confused that there was 3 when I saw it on the IMDb. I'm like, wait, there's 3 of them? I thought there was just
the metaverse
2.
all over again.
Mandelaverse.
Yeah.
But
so you got me there, because I assumed it was just the 2. The one that is kind of in control by day, and then him, the mercenary, by night.
The Moon Knight
doing God knows what.
Yeah,
that's what I assumed.
Yeah, I mean.
But if they team up together, maybe they're Moon Knight, because then they're in one body.
Now this is actually interesting, because on at least Wikipedia, Mark Spector it's Mark Spector / Moon Knight, and then he's also Stephen Grant / Mr. Knight.
What?
So I guess there's like there's 4?
I don't know. Oh man, dude. There's somebody screaming at their phone right now at us, being like, "You
I hear you.
402.
No idea.
You would know.
Watch it.
What you're talking about?"
But I don't know. Somebody will sure let us know. I'm sure they will. We apologize in advance. I will say though, I'm interested. I'm not writing this off yet. I think it's better some of the other Marvel shows that we've seen. There's only 6 episodes in this. It's a mini series. It's gonna be close ended. I like the 2 actors involved. I'm hoping for a complete story. So maybe I'll check it out. I might check out another one, but again, it's not my top priority right now. What about you, Kyle?
Moon Knight, yeah. If I hear some cool stuff later in the season, I'll check it out. But it is definitely not a priority. But it's interesting. I wasn't like totally turned off by it. I thought there was some really cool, interesting parts. So it depends. Depends on what I hear.
And I think John is out.
Well, whoever writes in to correct us can write in later to tell us why we should watch the rest of the season.
Okay,
There you go.
that sounds like a good plan.
Constructive criticism.
Yes.
That's what we want. We don't want.
Hey, yo, listen here, F-heads. This is what it is. You know?
Yeah. All right. One more show to talk about, and it's The Girl from Plainville,
Ugh.
the series premiere, Star-Crossed Lovers and Things Like That. It dropped on Hulu on March 29th. It tells the true story of Michelle Carter and her conviction for involuntary manslaughter for the death of Conrad Roy in 2014. So, going into this, I will say I was just super nervous because this is a very, very tough story that I think sickens probably nearly everyone who hears it. And I was really worried with this series. Are we gonna glamorize? Are we gonna possibly redeem in the Michelle Carter character that Elle Fanning is playing? I don't want that. Like it's a very tightrope that they're on. I think they were okay in this first episode with it. I'll get into why I think that in a little bit, but first I want to hear from Kyle your thoughts on the series.
Well, I just saw the first episode. Yeah, I honestly I knew nothing about the show until you said it to me. And then I was watching it, I'm like, oh, it's about this. And then the more I watched it, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do a whole series of this girl because I just it's just so frustrating. And I mean, it's probably to the point of how good Elle Fanning is doing with the character and how well, they're telling the story. And definitely not in her favor, and you know what they're trying to do, but it's just like this is like a car crash I do not want to witness. I just want to go right by. It's just frustrating to watch. I don't like the girl. It's about like not a great subject matter that I'm like, yeah, I want to do this for my entertainment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a tough set. And with this first episode, I will say I liked how they handled some of the stuff so far.
Yeah.
At least so far, in this one episode, we don't see the events like leading up to his death. We barely even really see the victim's body. Instead, we get more of like the confusion from everyone of like how close they were. And you kind of will see that in the whole episode. You get this kind of vibe from her. Is it too over the top? Is this an act? And I'm really curious to see how this plays out for people unfamiliar with the story. Like they had no idea that this was real or if this was, like who Michelle was. But it's like, did people really think it was, viewers think it was like is this a real fling? Is this real love from her? And then we get to the ending and we know for sure. But John, before we get there, what did you think of the series?
Yeah, I mean, knowing what happens in real life makes it a tough watch. Because if you don't know starting this out, you can kind of almost give the benefit of the doubt and be like, oh, all right, they had something going, but they weren't really public about it. But knowing how it turns out and even seeing the text messages, the flashes, like I paused to read them because I kind of knew I didn't know at that point that this was this, but I kind of had the hunch. And that kind of confirmed it, but pausing to read them and seeing those text messages, it's like, how does someone do this to somebody else? And
Yeah.
It's a pretty terrible story. And I, like Kyle was saying, it's a car crash, but I don't know if I can look away, like it's one of those ones where like, I almost have to see it happen. So I don't know. The first episode was a pretty crazy watch and I can only imagine that as we develop the story, and I'm assuming they're going to conclude the story, how is this going to spin and how much crazier it's going to get, Yeah.
Yeah, and we get this kind of ending moment, and I think for people who didn't know the story, this might have been, I guess, like a twist, quote unquote, where because like I'm not an expert in this case. I don't know if this is legit, but at least as the show showed us, there's clues that throughout the episode that this character, this person, loves Glee. She's watching an episode in the beginning, I noticed, when she was texting. There's the Lea Michele poster in her room. And we see her practicing a speech. And I think this was like a really well done sequence for the show. The music is crescendoing. You got this going on while the detective is reading the text. And you're starting to see, wait, these texts are getting worse and worse. And then in this speech that she's saying to the mirror, she stops. She goes to unpause an episode of Glee. And we hear it, and she's memorizing this speech from Glee. And we got a disclaimer in the beginning that while this is based on real events, certain parts are fictionalized. So again, I'm not exactly sure if this is all true, but from what I gathered, Glee seemed to be an influence on her. She was quoting direct lines and I guess texts after the events. But the reason I'll explain this, because I know John was a little bit confused with, why Lea Michele and why Glee, what's going on here. So Corey Monteith, an actor who was dating Lea Michele at the time, in real life, passed away July 13th, 2013. On Glee, their characters, I believe, also dated. And the episode that we see is from an October 2013 tribute episode called The Quarterback, at which they addressed Corey Monteith's character dying in the show as well. So it was kind of a therapeutic thing for Lea Michele to deliver this speech within the show about her real boyfriend and her character's boyfriend. In real life, Conrad died the same day as Corey, actually, 1 year later to the day, July 13th, 2014, as Corey Monteith did. So, yeah, this adds a whole layer to this person and her motives and what's going on, at least with what we're seeing in this show so far.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know the full backstory behind her, but does she have some kind of like sociopathic tendency or something? Because her mom was like, oh, it's happening like it was before, and I didn't know that she had like some kind of episode or some kind of, I don't know, depressive state or sociopathic state or what. I don't know.
To be honest, I don't know, because all I remember when this story happened, it was one of those things where I couldn't even really read about it. It was too dark. It was just too hard to see. And I think that is like the issue with the show, where, as John mentioned, it's like, it's hard to look away, especially with Elle Fanning's performance. She is delivering a performance as the main character here. And I also thought Chloe Sevigny as it was Conrad's mom, is doing a lot as well. I think she's doing really well.
Yeah, Chloe Sevigny is like, if there's a messed up child, Chloe Sevigny is the mother. All the time, dude. She's always some messed up character. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, but like just the moment when let's see, like she discovers the two letters from Conrad, and there's one letter for Michelle, and there's one letter for the dad, but there was not one for her. And so you could just, it's like, she's doing so much without going over the top, and so I think both of them are doing great. I see in the cast list, Aya Cash at some point is going to be joining the show. That'll be interesting to see her in this dramatic role versus what we see on Year of the Worst. Yeah. So right now, I think gonna keep watching a little bit. Again, it's not an easy show to watch. It's definitely tough subject matter. But John, you think you're gonna watch any more?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I don't know if I'm gonna watch them as they come out, or maybe do a few in a row and let it relax and come back to normal. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, I think this is one I definitely want to see some more of.
I think I'm out unless you guys tell me that it's worth watching. I will stick around.
I hear you. It's okay.
But just because it's not even like, it's just like I can't witness this girl, like, manipulate somebody into their death. Like, that's just, that sucks, man. I know it's it just sucks.
I wonder if they're going to frame it all from afterward, from this point out, or if we're going to get flashbacks and flash forwards. Like, there's that stylistic choice really will set the tone for what we get out of this.
And that's what I'm like again worried about. I don't want to like see
Yeah.
like the lead up to. I don't want to see that. So
Yeah.
like if that's why I really liked how this first episode did, where it's like, all right, it's after the fact, and maybe we'll get some the text playing out, maybe a flashback or two, but like I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that. But that's all we got for this week. That's all we got on the podcast. Next week, we did a little quick check of the show in the past, but we're going to dive deep into it next week, and we're going to talk about Severance. It's the season finale of Severance coming out. We will break it all down. A lot to talk about with that. I've been really enjoying it so far. John's going to catch up, I think, and check out Severance. And then after that, we might, just a little tease. I'll put it out there into the universe and see if it happens. Summer box office draft. I think it's coming back. I think we're ready. We'll see. We'll see what the world has in store over the next week or two if all these movies start changing again.
Yeah.
But I think we're okay. But you can find episodes of the podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the blog, doorduncy.com. Of course, Twitch, twitch.tv/doorduncy, live Monday nights on Twitch, 8 p.m. Eastern. And you can follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at doorduncy. I got to thank both of you guys for joining me tonight, watching all these different shows. John, really got to thank you tonight, not only for directing the show, but I had this idea yesterday for this Netflix segment, and you made a new segment header, a sound clip. I couldn't do it without you, man.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it without both of you. All right. Until next time, I'm David Allen,
I'm John Berwick.
And I'm Kyle Bridger.
and that's all we got for Do or Duncy. Goodbye, everybody.